So you heard about wholesale house flipping, and you're still trying to figure out what that is exactly. Maybe you've attended a few meetings here and there. You've attended a hotel meeting somewhere about real estate wholesaling, or maybe house flipping, fix and flips, creative real estate investing, and you're trying to figure out how this whole thing work. Specifically, you want to know more about the wholesale house flipping. What is wholesale house flipping, and how exactly can you make $10,000 to $20,000 in flipping houses? That's what we're going to talk about today. Welcome. My name is Ola. I'm the co-founder here at My Empire Pro. If you're brand new here, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you give me a thumbs up if I say anything that makes sense to you today. We're gonna have a good time. The first thing I want you to do, I want you to open another browser. If you're listening to me on a desktop, if you're on a mobile phone, yeah, you can wait to the end if you want. But essentially, if you're on iTunes, I want you to listen carefully. Where you want to go is myempirepro.com, myempirepro.com. And you want to go there and get your hands on a free book called The Empire Lifestyle Secrets. Empire Lifestyle Secrets. Essentially, we teach you in more step by step details of things I'm going to be sharing with you on this episode today. So I want you to go ahead and do that. MyEmpirePro.com. Make sure you get your hands on that free book. All right. So again, subscribe to this channel. Make sure you click the bell so you can join the notification squad, because I'm here virtually every day, every other day, every day, every other day. I'm here just talking about this topic. And this topic is something that changed my life forever. And to date, I have over 40 deals personally to my name that I've done. So I know what I'm talking about when I'm sharing this information with you. I'm sure there are tons of people out there that have done thousands of deals, hundreds, thousands of deals, of course. But I'm also sure about one more thing. They're not going to tell you the whole secret. I'm the only one in the marketplace that can tell you the ups, the downs, and things you need to watch out for, the challenges, and how you can overcome them. And that's what I'm here to talk to you about. The everything, majority of the stuff you find in the textbooks, at the seminars, everything like that, I guarantee you they are going to be 99% useless. That's usually most of the things around you in the textbooks that you hear from the gurus. 99% of them don't really matter. What I focus on here is that 1% that's going to get you closer to your first deal in wholesaling and in engaging yourself in wholesale house flipping. Okay, you can make a lot of money in it. Now, specifically today, we're talking about wholesale house flipping. All right. That's what we're talking about. But there's also fix and flip, right? This is when you purchase a property, you purchase it outright, no matter what type of financing method you use. Could be your own cash. It could be leveraged money. It could be money from the bank, loans, anything like that. You purchase it outright so you can fix it. Fixing it can take you anything from a month, 3 months, sometimes 6 months, depending on how elaborate the job is, and then you put it back on the market to sell for a profit. That would be fix and flip. Today we're talking more so about wholesale house flipping. In other words, we're going to eliminate the fixing part of it. See, there's a part of the market, there's a part of the marketplace that's already engaged in fixing, and they're very good at it. And you need to know what you're doing when you're fixing properties, because uh, that's a thousand million things that can go wrong. And I know that from experience, because I've done quite a few of fixing and flipping myself, and I know that things can happen. People can break in the house. The contractor can do a bad job. Contractor can run away with money. Yeah, even contractor that that you've worked with in the past can run away with money. Things can go wrong when you're fixing. Essentially, the longer you spend on a property, you can expect that the higher the chances of something going wrong. Okay, the higher your liabilities are, essentially. Okay, so in and out is can give you a lot of profit, but it's not always a good thing, right? You and I know that at the end of the day, by the time you get to a better place years later, decades later, you want to be owning properties. Okay, but before you own property, sometimes it takes a minute, sometimes it's going to take money, and sometimes we don't have that money, right? So we got to start from somewhere, and the place you got to start from before you start going heavy on the part of investing in this game is creating income, creating revenue, creating cash flow. Because if you do that long enough, you're going to have enough money stacked away. You're going to have enough properties, enough net worth that the banks, obviously you need to leverage the bank, will be willing to allow you to leverage them, right? So you can own properties that are cash flowing for you. So you can even sit with the property that are cash flowing. It can be covered properly with insurance, even though yes, you're exposed to liability, but the right insurance can be covered, and you can pay down equity and build your wealth. Okay. But before we get to that, like I was saying, you got to create income, and that's where wholesale house flipping comes in. It's a method for you to be engaged in real estate investing where you can create 10, 20, 30,000 dollars per deal without having to touch the property ever, without having to fix the property ever. The highest I've ever done in that particular business model is $82,000. Okay, from one deal. Okay, and my average is typically between $20,000, $30,000. Okay, and yes, I have made money as low as $5,000 from one deal before because it just wasn't such a good deal. But $5,000 is still better. Okay, especially considering the fact that I didn't have to touch the property. This is wholesale house flipping. Okay, so essentially what it entails is essentially this this 5 pointers that I'm going to point you to. Okay, I'm going to point you to these 5 things right here, and that's what you pretty much want to pay attention to. Okay, but before we get into that, let me introduce myself again one more time. My name is Ola, and this is my face. I'm moving, right? And I'm having a good time sharing this information with you. Again, like I said, I want to encourage you to subscribe to this channel. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and take advantage of everything we have to offer. Go get that book for free and get inside. Go all the way inside. If you've decided that wholesale real estate house flipping is for you, uh, by the time I'm done with this information I want to share with you, you will find out that you need to go all the way inside to everything we have to offer you in there. But the book is absolutely for free. Okay. So number one, it entails buying. Okay. Now, buying what? Obviously, when you say buy, you gotta find and buy. Okay, you gotta find and buy. Okay, so find and buy. Okay, but some people say, but I don't have money. Okay, so good question. So buy in this sense, in the sense of real estate wholesale flipping, essentially means you are buying equitable interest. Okay, you're buying equitable interest. Okay, so we're gonna squash that out, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna say buy and go under contract. Okay, and that's something we call UC. Okay, so essentially you want to find a property that's priced um, that's priced for market sales, but you want to go in there and give them an offer. And there are two possible answers that can happen. They can say yes or they can say no. Okay. But it's a specific type of deal you're looking for, right? There's a specific type of deal you're looking for. And you want people to have number two, equity in the deal. You want to have pre existing equity in the deal that you're creating. And this is something I still call it inbuilt equity. Okay. So yes, it's equity, but it's inbuilt equity. So you go there, the property is worth $100,000. So you're not going to be able to put it under contract for $100,000 because in that sense, there's no way for you to add value to the deal. Okay, there's no way for you to have add value to the deal in order for you to sell, which is number three, to sell it for a quick buck, sell it for a quick profit, right? Now, why would somebody buy from you when they could have bought it themselves because they didn't find it? Remember, the first step here is finding, and we're going to spend a lot of time on this finding part right here. We're going to spend a ton of time on finding. That's really where the work is. Okay, I was saying earlier that 99% of everything that you're going to learn about this business from everywhere else is not going to matter. Okay, they're going to over sophisticate this situation, and this is what I laugh at sometimes. I see people get into the game, and they get into the game, and they are thinking about all the tools, all the technology that they want to use, and they overcomplicating everything. Right? Excuse me, 1 second. Let's see here. Okay, yeah, they're complicating everything, right? And the problem there is that you're complicating everything. You're over analyzing everything. Somebody told you there's a tool that could make it faster, that you can find deals faster. And somebody told you you can make it easier, right? But I hate to bust your bubbles here. Okay, this business is very simple, but it's not easy. The reason why it's not easy is not necessarily because it's manual labor. It's because you stand a chance. The odds are against you, and you're probably going to overcomplicate everything like everybody else. And it won't be your fault. It will be the fault of the gurus, because the gurus are always looking for ways to put gimmicks out in the marketplace. Okay, but the truth of the matter is that you get paid for only one thing in this business of wholesale house flipping. You get paid for one thing, and everything else must fall on that. It's like a domino effect, right? Everything kind of like have to follow that. Okay, and if you overthink this, you are going to struggle. Okay, you get paid for one thing, and I already emphasized it on the screen, is to find deals. Okay, you get paid to find deals. And the next question you should ask is, what is a deal, right? You get paid to find deals and put them under contract. So the next question should, before we get all the way into number three, right? uh, is, what is a deal, right? What is a deal in wholesale real estate? Essentially, you're looking for motivated sellers. Okay, you're looking for people that need to get rid of their property. As a matter of fact, you're not looking for a seller. You're looking for somebody that absolutely needs to get rid of a property as of yesterday. This property has turned out, like most people, to become a liability on their financial statement. Okay, most people's personal homes are a liability, and they're deceiving themselves that they have an asset. Okay, but you and I know better now today that your house, the primary house that you primary residence that you live in, is a liability, because you have to pay for it one way or the other. You have to pay for it for the rest of your life, like literally until you die, right? So the only way to make money in real estate is to turn real estate, so that when you purchase real estate, you make sure you're buying an asset. In other words, it puts money in your pocket, distinctively, explicitly putting money in your pocket. Because if it's not doing that, by definition, it doesn't matter that the name of it is real estate or it's in the category of real estate. It doesn't matter that it's a house. Okay, it's not the fact that it's a house that makes it an asset. It's based on what it does. Does it put money in your pocket, or does it take money out of your pocket, right? If it's putting money in your pocket, you're absolutely right. Okay, it is an asset. Okay, but if it's taking money out of your pocket, right, just on paper, in other words, you're just paying mortgage, like as of today, if it's taking money out of your pocket, that will be called a liability. Okay, and most people's homes are liability. So people end up with all these houses, sometimes even quote unquote investment properties in the name of investment property, but essentially it's just taking money out of their pocket, right? They end up with this properties on their books, on their financial books, and it's pretty much draining them or drowning them, and they need to get rid of it. Those are the kind of deals that you're looking for, because if you don't have that reason and that problem so you can help them solve it, you're not going to be able to add value to the person's life. And if you cannot add value to the seller's life, in other words, you're not going to be able to find deals. Okay, in other words, that's not a deal. Okay, so let me give you a case in point. If you have a property that's all the way pretty, somebody has fixed it and they're trying to sell it, right? So they put in all this work, they fix it, granite countertop, hardwoods, beautiful home, right? And they put it at top dollars. They feel like it's worth $400,000, and they put it on the market for $400,000. See, there's no way for you to add value to that situation. Okay, they don't need to sell. At least that's not what they're expressing. They want to sell. There's a difference between wanting to sell and needing to sell. Okay, and I take it even a step further. You absolutely need to get rid of the house. And there's a ton of people out here on the marketplace that need to get rid of the house. And those are the deals you're looking for. Okay. So we've helped you narrow down right there, because a lot of people come into the game and they're looking at everything. They're talking to everybody where they could save time and just be able to recognize that there's no deal here from 10 miles away, right? So if you see a pretty house, it's typically not a deal for you. Okay. However, there's a little bit of an art right there. Somebody could be holding on to a pretty property for too long and they need to get rid of it, and they may have some equity in it. Don't shy away from it. Okay, because then there's a reason, there's a motivation, they have a why. Again, they need to get rid of it. Okay, so but I'm just saying, typically when you see a pretty house and somebody put on the market, that's probably not a place where you want to waste time. Okay, you can ask, you can have maybe one or two pre-qualification questions and ask questions, and then see if you need to move on, or if there's a room for more conversation there. But typically when I see a pretty house, when I see how much it's listed for, I pretty much can tell if I want to waste my time on that or not. Okay. If a house is ugly, then I want to talk. Okay. If a house is on a pre-foreclosure list, meaning they're late 3 days, 3 months, they're now late 3 months in their mortgage payment and they haven't paid, I want to talk. I want to see if I can talk to this person, because I want to see if they're open to selling their property. Okay. And it doesn't matter if they're owing too much on the property, because I have a solution called short sales, where I can literally approach their bank and the bank will give them the house for less than what it's worth. Okay. Why would the bank want to do that? Because remember, this person is late on the mortgage payment. So the asset that the bank put in place, which is the mortgage note, is not performing. It's called non-performing asset. So in other words, I can negotiate and say, hey, you have a $300,000 loan here that's not performing. Give me the whole thing for $250,000. And they're willing to give that to me. Okay. So typically in the textbooks, you're going to find 65% ARV. That's pretty much the formula for a deal. You need 65% of the after repair value. You need to be able to put the house under contract for 65% of the after repair value. That's the rules in the textbooks. However, there are exceptions to every rules. And here's what I want to tell you. In order to be able to utilize exceptions to rules properly, you need to know what the rule is. Okay, so that's why I'm sharing it with you. But I don't want you to get stuck on 65%. Sometimes it's not 65, it could be 85, it could be 80%, right? uh your job there is to go there and see how you can add value, see how you can solve problem, right? That's your job there, right? In exchange for equity, okay, in exchange for equitable interest. So when you find a deal, right, let's go into step number 2 here, right? When you find a deal and you put it under contract, right, you find a deal, it's now you found it at 71% of the after repair value. In other words, this property hypothetically is worth $100,000, but you were able to get it under contract for $71,000, right? All you want is $10,000. Your fee for finding the deal. Again, you get paid to create results. Okay, you as an entrepreneur in general, you get paid to create results. You don't get paid for being busy. Okay, you don't get paid for looking like you're busy, right? You get paid for creating results, and that's something you need to pay attention to for a long time if you want to build a business. Okay, if you want to keep a job where you get paid per hour, then you can say, hey, I get paid for being busy, right? But in a business, you get paid for creating results, right? So excuse me, you found the deal, it's under contract, right? And it's under contract with 29% equity in it. Okay, remember, $100,000, you put it under contract for $71,000, and now 100 minus 71 is $29,000. That's 29% of the value equity, right? But the property doesn't need any work. Again, we're assuming that the property doesn't need any work. Now if the property needs about, based on your estimates, if the property needs about let's say $19,000, okay, no, let's say $11,000 in repair, right? Okay, so your offer was going to be $71,000. So as soon as you saw the property, you noticed that it needs about $11,000 worth of work. So that would be $71,000 minus $11,000, and that's $60,000, and that will be your maximum allowable offer. Okay, so that will be your offer. That's the offer. That's the ideal number you want to get, right? But I'm going to warn you right now, to find deals like that, sometimes you have to break the rules. But again, to break the rules properly and win, you have to know what the rules are. Okay, so I'm going to give you what the exceptions to all those rules are, okay, as we move forward. But I want you to pay attention to the ideal. Okay, so $60,000 is your maximum allowable offer. You offer them 50, they came back, they say, you know what, if you can give us $7,000 more, we'll take it. That's $57,000. That's under 60. Boom, you turn around, you sell it for $10,000 fee, right? You sell that contract. In other words, you never came to the table with any cash. Okay, you never came. There are exceptions to every rules I'm sharing with you, by the way, but ideally you came to the table, you came to the table, and you close the deal without having to come up with money. Where did the money come from? Let's go to number 3. You sold the contract. Remember, you put this house under contract, right? You put this house under contract. You have $29,000 in equitable interest in the property. And what you sold is that equitable interest. Okay. The equitable control and interest in that property is what you sold to another end investor. Usually, this end investor is a fix and flipper real estate investor. Okay. In other words, they are the type of people that want to actually buy the property. They put the money down or they find the loan to purchase the property. They purchase the property from you for $67,000, right? Because you put it on that contract for 57, right? They pay 57 for the property. They pay you $10,000 your fees for doing what? For finding the deal. Okay, your job is finding the deal. Okay, some people get stuck on what kind of contract should I use. It doesn't freaking matter. You could handwrite your contract, okay, and you can still flip this deal. Of course, you don't want to handwrite. You want to have a standard contract, but honestly, you don't need to dwell too much on what type of contract. Okay, we'll get your contract. If you know how to find deals, you will find a contract. Okay, let me just say it like that. Some people say you got to put a signed slash or in front of your name so you can assign the contract. Honestly, you can assign any contract. Okay, the only time that you may have a problem with that is if you were dealing with a non-motivated seller in the first place, that they will ever care about the clauses and all the craziness in the clause or anything like that. Now, obviously, you want to protect yourself, right, and use the right contract. But I'm just saying, if you don't know how to find a deal first, what's the point, right? So, and I'm also saying that if you want a contract, once you come on all the way inside, you download my book and you become a member, I'll get you a contract. And frankly, you can Google contract for you wholesale properties and it can probably come up. So that's not the biggest of the issues here. Does that make sense? All right. So you sell, we're still on number three. You sell the property to an end investor, an end buyer, right? And I said in one of my last videos that it may not necessarily be a cash buyer because cash buyers is a fad. Most people are not going to be cash buyers in this game. Okay, most people are not going to tie their money down in a deal. People use the bank's money. People use lenders' money. In other words, the lender is in the business of lending money, not fixing and lending at the same time. Okay, so typically a business that's lending money is in the business of lending money for exchange for interest on the money, right? And that's all they do. They don't try to fix and flip properties. So if you find somebody that say, "Oh, all cash buyers," blah blah blah, yes, there are a few out here that can buy your properties for all cash. But I want you to understand that most people are not going to be players when it comes down to that. And I'm going to take it a step further here. I'm going to tell you right now, okay, that you're going to need to find your own buyers, and the buyers at your real estate investors association club they're probably not going to buy your property that you find. They're probably going to think the deal is not a deal for multiple many reasons, excuses that they could give you. They could say the comps are bad. They could say, no, I just don't like that location. They could give you like 2,000 other excuses like that. But just realize that they're just not players. Okay, so I'm going to give you an out. I'm going to give you the next two steps I'm going to share with you. It's essentially an out. It's essentially how to escape that big problem. Because again, this business was sold to people on the idea that there are cash buyers that would buy their properties, but oftentimes they're not. There's no cash buyers. There's no people that are real players that are ready to buy these deals. I mean, we have a deal right now, right? Well, like most of my deals, we have a deal right now that has 15% return on people's cash. $22,000, 15% return, and these people are not going to pick up the property, even with everything all good to go straight up. They don't have to be a landlord; it could just be an investor. This so-called cash buyers are not going to buy it, and they're going to claim I could. I'm going to tell you what they're going to say for this kind of deal, right? I picked up the deal because I know I can sell it because I know how to do number 4 and 5 that I'm about to share with you, right? But the quote unquote cash buyers that the gurus have sold you, they're not gonna buy because they're gonna be like, oh, this property, the ARV, what's the ARV? Oh wow, well, ARV is $250,000. Well, you're selling it for 270. How can I justify that? Well, in my opinion, you can justify it with the income that's coming into the property, right? But they are stuck on the ARV, after repair value of the property, and they can't see the value in the income that's coming into the property. Well, you're better off because you're on this video right now. In wholesale house flipping, You're not just looking to sell to cash buyers, okay? You're looking to sell to anybody that can buy. You're looking to sell the deal that you found to anybody. And I want you to understand that anybody could be anybody who is picking up their first property or somebody that has bought their 1,000th property. It doesn't matter. Treat everybody equally with respect and understand that anybody could pick up your property at any time. So that's why I'm going to go to number 4 right now, which is marketer. Really, you are a marketer, okay? You're not a real estate investor. You're not a real estate wholesaler. You are a marketer. You get paid for the very idea that you know how to send a message out that can attract a lot of people and you can sell, okay? You are a marketer. How did you find these deals? Because you know how to market, okay? That's the single most important thing in all of this business model that I'm sharing with you. If you know how to find deals, people will pay you lucratively to do that all day long, okay? And that's ever all you have to do. You don't have to be a lawyer. You don't have to have know all the legalities. You don't have to find out all the things that are illegal. The only thing I want to tell you is that don't steal, don't cheat, don't lie. Don't cheat, don't steal, don't lie. That's really all you have to focus on. And full disclosure, let people know what you're up to. You may say, oh, but should I let them know that I'm about to flip their property? No, you're going there to put the house under contract. So you gotta use some wisdom here too. Okay, you're not gonna go there and say, I'm gonna help you sell your property. If as a matter of fact, that's illegal if you're not a realtor, if you're not a licensed real estate agent. But if you go there and say, I'm interested in your property, I am going to buy your property. Can you give me a contract and give me an option to buy your property for the next 30 days? I'm going to buy it at this price. The contract is essentially an option to buy. Okay. And some people worry about how can I get out of the contract? You could get out of any contract anytime. Not only that, they could get out of the contract if they want. But here's what's going on. You're helping them solve a problem. If they could get out of the property, they would have gotten out of the property before you got there. So that's really none of your worries. The number one, excuse me, the number one worry for you is learning how to find deals, okay, and learning how to build a big pipeline of deals that are coming in all the time, okay. So now, when I just say marketer, there are two sides of it for a wholesale house flipper. Okay, there's two sides to it, and that's the selling and the buying. Okay, you're looking to get a list of people that are to market to people that are looking to sell. I already mentioned it to you earlier. These are pre-foreclosures, okay? People in pre-foreclosures, people that inherited properties that they don't really want, people that have a house that's just bad on their books, people that have vacant properties that sitting there that they need to get rid of. Essentially, motivated sellers, people that absolutely need to get rid of the property. You needed to find a way to access that list of people. It is published. The good news is that it's published publicly at your county house, okay? And there are websites that extract this information and put it in a very nice place for you, okay, on the internet. And if you're looking for such a website, one of them is this, okay? You could just go to, let's see, all right, my Empire Pro. It's called Redex, okay? But you can just, my empirepro.com/Red X. Okay, that website right there will give you access to thousands upon thousands of pre-foreclosures for sale by owners, for rent by owners, which is usually tired landlords that are looking to get rid of a house. Give you access to expired listings, people that have tried to sell their property in a regular market, but they can't sell it. You could go in there and give them an offer based on what you identify as a deal. Okay, all right. So that's that. So marketing. Now I'm going to take marketing a step further. Okay. Taking the marketing a step further, you need to build a list of buyers. You need to engage in list building for buyers, okay? Because, like I said, you need to sell this property because money comes from people, right? And if you're not selling these properties that you put under contract, you will not make money. I mean, like, I don't know. Does that make complete sense to you? Money comes from people, so you gotta have people, okay, that have money or have access to money, right? Mainly have access to money because, like I said earlier, the idea of cash buyers, squash that, okay? It could be any type of buyer, and there are lawyers in your local area that will help you structure a deal where you could do things legally, okay? Because I always make sure I close with the lawyer so they can protect me and the interests of everybody at the table, right? But again, we're on list building. You need to build a list of buyers, potential buyers. And if you want to learn how to do that, that's something that I think you should use the internet for. Okay. People say, should I do it offline or online? I said, There's no such thing as offline anymore. We're all online. Okay. So you need to learn how to use the internet marketing, digital marketing. You need to learn how to build a list of buyers online. Okay. And that's something I cover extensively in my free book at Empire Lifestyle Secrets. Okay. That's the name of the book. And you can get it absolutely for free at myempirepro.com, or you can click on the link in the description box below. And this book is 200 pages. You need to read it 10 to 15 times. Okay. And you can start taking action from the first time you read, but it's something, there's a manual that you have to keep right next to you. If you're building any type of list, if you're marketing of any type, you own any type of business, this is a book that you need to have on the side so you can use it every day as a reference. It's a textbook, okay, because you'll be able to reference it and look up information in there all the time. It's called Empire Lifestyle Secrets, and it goes into details of exactly how do you set up yourself on the internet, how do you convert people to subscribers, because when they convert to subscribers, they're not on your list. And that's what I'm talking about when I say list building. You need to build a list of buyers, and I don't mean just cash buyers. Cash buyers are cool and cute, but you're not limited to cash buyers. As long as these people have access to cash, either by way of credit, and they have purchasing power, they could be a first time buyer, they could be 1000th time buyer. It doesn't matter. Okay, as long as they're actually going to buy this property, and you can be the person bringing inbuilt equity, discounted properties into the marketplace. Wholesale properties, you help people pick up wholesale properties. Okay, and it's as simple as that. So now the common question I get is that, do you need a license to be able to do this because you're selling? Not necessarily, but it's a plus. It's an edge over everybody else. If you can get a license, it takes you nothing to get a license. It will be an additional exit strategy for you, because sometimes a property may not have any equity in it. You may just pick it up to list it on the market in partnership with other people. You don't have to deal with that part of the business, and you can make referral fees all day long. A real entrepreneur knows that you need to create multiple strategies, multiple exit strategies, so you can get money and create cash flow in your business. So again, go right now, get the book, myempirepro.com, and let's take it a step further, because I think you're going to love what you see in there. If I said anything that made any sense to you on this episode today, please give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate that. That's the best thing you can do for me. And if you know somebody that can benefit, that really is interested in this topic, please share the video with them. If you're not sure, just click on share button right below and share to your social media platform, and everybody can see it. Your friends, your links, your social network, everybody can see it. If you have any questions, please drop me a question in the comment box below, in the comment area. Drop me a question. You have contribution, you have something to add onto it. I would love that. I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. And I will see you on the next one. Hopefully, you've been enlightened and educated. I'll see you on the next one. And peace.